Hey guys, Editing Joy here. Listen, I just wanted to give you guys a quick trigger warning. This video may deal with loss of family members. This video may deal with essay, unaliving, self-unaliving. So if that bothers you at any point, please, we totally understand. Click away. You do not have to watch. Thanks in advance if you do. And if you don't, we totally understand. So, on to the video.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Joy and Jazz Review.
Hello, where we review everything that we have an opinion on so that you guys don't have to waste your time. Sounds good.
Period.
No, we review everything that we deem reviewable, and we let you know what we think, in our opinion, of course. Of course. So,
we're going to start off by welcoming our new subscribers and welcoming our old / people who have been here since the beginning.
Welcome back. Thank you guys for supporting us. We really, really appreciate it. Believe us. So, what are we doing today, my love?
Today we are reviewing The Good Guy by Dean Koontz.
Nice.
I love this book. I liked it.
Did you?
It was good.
Did you? I actually did like this one too. I didn't think I was gonna, but I really did. Like, it was hard in the beginning, but then I really got into it and I was like, this is actually pretty cool. So yeah.
Next chapter?
Yeah. So yeah, we read The Good Guy by Dean Koontz, and yeah, it was really good. It was really good. So, what kind of story is this?
A thriller?
Yes.
I had to really think about it, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a thriller.
Yeah. It is a thriller. And normally we do a lot of like paranormal, and especially with Dean Koontz, a lot of his books are a paranormal-esque type of, but not this one, yo.
The monsters are real people.
Yes, which, great line. I like that. So,
so what did you think the main conflict of the story was?
the main conflict was a murder for hire and a man trying to keep a woman alive.
True.
I like it.
It was good.
I like it a lot. Yeah. I liked this book because not only do you get to see the point of view of the main character, right?
Right.
But you also get to see the point of view of the villain, which is really, really cool. Like, you get to hear his thoughts as well, and you're just like,
yeah.
He's very twisted.
Some content and trigger warnings, mentions of essay.
Yes.
And murder.
And unaliving.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what is the setting of this book?
Doesn't this also happen in California?
Yes.
Last week we talked about The Soul Survivor, and that was set in California.
Yeah. This one is in California as well.
Jeez.
I wonder if Dean Koontz lives in California and he writes what he knows.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I would think so. Because it is set in California. Could it have been set anywhere else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe like a bigger city. Maybe like a city, like New York.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. They would have been able to like get away easy.
I don't know, because they had the tracking device on the Ford Explorer, so...
Yeah, and he writes cars very well. Like, what was it in the Soul Survivor? It was like a Honda, right? And so
Yeah.
now we have a Ford Explorer.
Right.
And I'm just like, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, car details. I'd be like, they got in their vehicle. Got away. But I guess that's why he and you are the writers and I'm not.
They got in a box with 4 round rubber pieces.
Fill in the blank. Use your imagination.
In quotes. I love it. So,
how does the setting of the story affect the plot?
okay, so there are a lot of different suburbs around Los Angeles because they're in Los Angeles. And so they go to a lot of these different, like, smaller suburbs of, so it does, but you could do that in New York. Right? You could do that in Tennessee, like you have Nashville and then you have Goodlettsville and you have Millersville, and you could do that in Tennessee too. So I don't think that the setting affects the plot, but there's a lot of places that they go.
Yeah, there's nowhere like real specific where you're just like, obviously it had to be set there.
Right. And yeah, I don't think that had a big to do about it. So yeah. Let's see. What is the inciting incident?
I love talking about this. So our main character, Tim, is in a bar.
Yes.
And he's sitting there, and this other guy comes up and he orders a beer, but he's just like sitting there and letting it sit and get hot. And Tim's like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, are you the guy? And Tim's like, I'm a guy.
I'm a guy.
And then the guy's just like, well, here's the money, and slides him a
Manila.
yes,
Envelope.
an envelope full of money. He's like, 10,000 there, the other half when she's gone.
Right.
And then he just leaves.
No. He talks about his dog, Harry. Who is
Larry.
Larry, who's named after his brother Larry, who died. And he took his dog skydiving.
And Tim is just like, this man is weird.
Yeah, but he takes the envelope anyway.
So Tim is sitting there, and then another guy shows up, and he's just like, you're early. And Tim's just like, so are you. And he's just like, you got the goods, basically? And Tim's just like, like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And Tim's like, well, why don't you just take this money and, you can just have it and don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, yeah.
And the guy's just like, that's not how it works.
He's like, you're not paying me to do something. You're paying me for my grace. And I was like, ew. What the hell?
It was just a really funny interaction that drew me in.
Yes.
Like in the first chapter.
Yes.
I was just like, this is good.
And Tim just plays along. He's
like, yeah. I'm the guy.
are you the guy?
He's like, I'm a guy. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. So then Tim follows the guy out in the parking lot and sees the guy leave. But before he's gonna call the cops, he takes the picture out of the envelope so that he can find the girl first. And then he notices that the guy, and his name is Crate, so that's what we're gonna call him from now on, Crate. Crate has police.
And Linda.
Yeah, Linda is the girl. And Crate has this police broadband thing on his car. And so Tim knows instantly he can't call the police.
Right.
So he's decided he's going to save the girl.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
That's right. Love that show.
I was gonna start it over, I think.
Yeah?
Chance was like, oh my gosh, are we gonna start Heroes?
I love Heroes, you guys. Okay.
So how would you describe the main characters?
Okay, so the main characters are freaking fantastic. You got Carrier. You have Linda Paquette. That's her name. Linda Paquette. And I love their banter. And it's dry and it's witty and you know they're joking, but the way they say it and they deliver it is just amazing.
So
and you're
good.
just like, it is. It
Like
is
an
so
old
good.
married couple. I'm just like, oh,
Like you just met me 10 minutes ago and you're talking about my big head. Like it is just so amazing to me. Like, did you like highlight some of their banter?
I did. I did. So, starting off with like just like a quote that I liked. Scar is not always a flaw. Sometimes a scar may be redemption inscribed in flesh, a memorial of something endured to something lost.
I was actually going to highlight that exact quote because we're talking about Pete.
Yeah.
Pete is the friend.
Their cop
The
friend.
cop friend. And Linda's like, I don't like cops.
She's like, no cops.
He was like, but this is a cool cop. She was like, but I don't like cops.
She's great.
She's like, but a cop is still a cop. And she's not even running from the law. She just doesn't like cops. So yeah, she is hilarious to me. I love her. And I love Tim because Tim is just like, he's on the inside, he's fighting an existential crisis, like with his past and his present. But on the outside, he's like this big burly dude with a big head. Like, keep talking about his poor head. Like,
They're just like, do you have any siblings? It's like, I got a brother. He's got a normal size head.
yeah, I love that. So yeah, go ahead.
So next we have, they're talking to Pete, Linda, and Tim, and Pete says, you ready to tell me what this is about? It's not about anything that happened in your jurisdiction. I think of myself as a detective of the world. Nobody's been killed, Tim said, and mentally added, yet. Remember, I'm in the robbery homicide division. The only thing that's been stolen is a coffee mug with a ceramic parrot on the handle.
Linda. That's my
Scowling,
favorite
Linda
mug.
declared, I love that mug. What'd she say?
She said she loves that mug.
And then he says, and an egg custard pie. There was only half a pie left.
It was great. Like their banter is amazing, and this was perfectly written. Good job, Dean Koontz.
Okay, so another one says Tim and her are in the
Coffee shop or the burger
Diner.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, trimmer as you are, I was sure you'd order a salad. Right, I'm going to graze on arugula so I feel good about myself, and some terrace vaporizes me tomorrow with a nuke.
Nobody likes arugula. You know, comment below if you actually like arugula. Or comment if you don't like arugula,
And
which I'm
then
pretty
he
sure most
says,
of you don't.
does a coffee shop like this have arugula? These days arugula is everywhere. It's easier to get than a venereal disease.
Ew! She right though.
And then they're talking about, he says, you must exercise. What do you do for exercise? She's like, I brood. That burns up calories, does it? If you think about the world coming apart, you can easily get the ticker about 130 and keep it there for hours.
So, their banter is amazing. So yeah, our main characters are cool as shit. So, of course you've got Pete, then you've got Tim and Linda, and they are just, like I said, they're cool as shit.
They are really great.
Where are we? Do you think the characters feel real?
I don't think so.
They're too good.
They're too good. I think Dean was just like typing. He was like, "Oh, that's some good shit."
I feel that. They're just too good to be real. Like, I could not see them as real people. But then I've got a couple of friends who are just as witty as like Linda.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. They don't feel real. If I knew people like that, we would be besties for real, for real.
Right.
Like, we would be like snarky and bitchy like all day long.
I love banter.
I do too.
I'm like, I like you. We have the good banter going.
But yeah, we would be like never separated
Yes.
besties. Yeah. Christy and I have good banter.
I like banter.
Yeah, Christy and I have a really good banter.
I'm just like, what did they say? That was hilarious. And they just sat there and took it? Awesome.
It's the best. So what's next?
So how would you describe the minor characters?
Okay, so the minor characters, we have Tim's mom.
Right.
Love Tim's mom. Tim's mom is that mom, like, Tim's mom is introduced to us in the kitchen. She's cutting up apples. She's about to make an apple pie, which is all American, you know, very mom-esque thing to do. But then she gets all cat-like and she's just like, so what? I'm a hostage now and you expect me to talk to you? Like, she's got zero fucks. Like, zero. So, yeah, I love her. You also have the pilot, the woman who got her arm blown off and her eye and stuff taken. And then you have the bartender. Liam, his name was?
I don't remember. But yeah, he was super helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, but he also gets Tim's name caught. Because what's the first thing he does after Crate leaves? Calls Tim on his cell phone.
He's like, hey, someone was just asking about you, dog.
But yeah, so the minor characters are cool. I like them.
Yeah.
Like, this book is full of some very, very cool characters. I like that.
Even the villain.
The villain.
He was a good villain.
He was an awesome villain.
But he died. Wah, wah.
Yeah. His death was just lackluster. If you guys have ever seen Serenity, right? So when not Serenity, not the movie, Firefly. The last episode of Firefly with the bounty hunter, Searle, or whatever his name was. This is what I think about when I think of this villain. Just awesome. Just philosophical and dumb at the same time. And I really liked him. But his death was like not a death befitting such an awesome character.
Yeah.
So yeah. So who is the villain?
So we talked about Crate.
Right.
He's the villain.
Right.
He's been hired to essay Linda and make it look like an essay gone wrong and then unalive her.
Right.
And he's really weird. He's like I think he's got OCD.
Yeah. Yes. So he breaks into all these houses, right? The first thing he does when he breaks into these houses is he checks the cleanliness of the person who lives there. And you're just like, okay.
Aren't you a murderer?
Yeah. But then he's like, man, I cannot wait to essay and kill this lady. Like, he's excited about it. And you're just like...
He's like, let me make a snack. Let me take off my clothes and wash them.
Yeah.
Let me go through their fridge, eat some stuff, wash my dishes.
Yeah. He washes and dries and puts away the dishes.
He goes through their medicine cabinet and he, like, everything he doesn't like, he throws in the bin.
Yeah, he's like, you don't need this. You don't need this. Like, he does not approve of kids. Nothing with kids. He does not approve. So yeah, he's just a really good bad guy.
Weird, but good.
Yeah, just weird and good and just somebody that you would love to hate. just a really good bad guy. And I know I'm smiling a lot, but like, it's exciting to come across a villain that you love to hate. Like, some villains in some books are very lackluster. You're just like, oh, he's a bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
but this guy, like, you don't just get to, like, see him when he's in scene. You get in his head because there's whole chapters that are dedicated to him.
And what he's doing.
Yeah. And you're just like, so you know this man, and you're like, yeah, that motherfucker's gotta die awesome. And then he doesn't. Alas.
So who do you think is telling the story?
Well, there's two people telling the story. Because you've got, well, no, because there are some chapters where Pete is telling the story. So there are 3 narrators. You've got Tim, you've got Pete, and then you've got Crate.
Right.
And,
And sometimes Linda.
no.
Whenever it was talking about her leaving the coffee shop, that one chapter, that's the only one that stands out to me. And she deals with the guy, and she runs out and almost gets caught.
Yeah. That is the only one.
That's the only one that stood out to me that I can think of.
Yeah. Because she's not, he doesn't like write her like point of view very, very, very much in depth. But she does make a point in that chapter. Guys, if you're a female and you don't feel safe in a male's presence, do not let another male tell you that just put up with it and then ditch him later. It'll be fine. It's not fine. And she makes a huge point to show him what it actually feels like. And I love her for what she did.
Right.
Yeah. So you guys just know it's not okay. If you're not safe, get away and find help. So that's a little PSA for you guys. How should we feel about this story?
I felt good. I was just like, this is good.
Yeah.
I felt like I was like listening to and like reading a movie.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is like a movie. But it's not a movie. This one would be a great movie.
It would have been a badass movie. Yeah, I agree.
Like over Soul Survivor.
Yeah.
Like this would be a good one.
Yeah, I agree. This would have been a great movie. And it's not. But this one is like so good though.
It's like Odd Thomas. Like that one is good. And the movie was like, okay. I feel like they should have done an Odd Thomas series.
Like a movie series or a TV series, like a mini series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like do all the books.
I agree.
And like seasons or like, you know, a couple episodes here and there.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
And Dean just mainly writes male protagonists.
Well, he's a male. He writes what he knows.
I know, but you know, maybe he wrote about a female.
He did. Shortly. Linda's pretty badass.
Well, I mean, like as the main character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Be like Stephanie, blah, maybe Stephanie. Steph for short.
So
how do you think the characters struggle as a result of their decisions?
I think Crate struggles not because he can't find his prize, but because his hubris just keeps him from, you know, feeling like he's under standard. Like he's like, I'm the best. Like there's nothing that he's ordained. He's the prince of the world, he calls himself. Like he even says, you know, I don't know if I ever had a mother, but he wouldn't be surprised if he was just not immaculately like put into the world. Like he is a gift from God. Like and so his decisions, because his head is so big, that's what leads to his downfall.
Yeah.
Tim, his decisions are smart. Like, he is not the average bricklayer. I hate...
Mason.
Right. I hate that it took so long to find out who he was before he was a bricklayer. Because he's amazing. But I get why he kept that hidden, like he didn't want to talk about it and stuff like that.
Right.
So what do you think?
Yeah, just like Crate is super cocky. And he just, I don't know. He just thinks that he's better. He's just like, every time they got away, he was just like, meh, I'll get him.
Yeah, he's like, I'll get him eventually. You know, I'm not gonna run after them because I am cool, calm, and collected. Like, he knows what his heart rate is at all times. Like, this guy. Wow. So, what do you think about the characters' choices?
They all made good choices, I think. Well, the best for the story.
Right.
Pete was super helpful with getting them information that they needed, and Linda and Tim just like kept running. The mom's choice.
I love her.
Like when Crate is just like, really, you're gonna let your son die for you for real?
he's like, that's your son. She's like, I know. He's like, you're gonna let your son die for you? She was like, eh. Just like, he was like, what kind of mother are you?
She's like, hello, Mrs. Carrier.
It is what it is. Can we talk about after the president, how the news like blows up and all these politicians are like unaliving themselves because of all the stuff that's coming to light from everything that's happened, everything that happened to Linda and Tim.
Right.
And I'm like, that's some deep, like, dark web type stuff. Like, that was like super, super deep. And even the president was like, I got you. Like, I was like, hell yeah, president, actually, like,
being there.
Yeah.
So what would you rate this story?
I would give this one 5 stars. I would give this one 5 stars. I just really enjoyed reading it.
That's surprising for you.
I know. And I would actually read this one again. Like, not tomorrow, but I would read this one again because I really enjoyed it. I just really did. And you're right. It should be a movie.
It should.
Hint, Hollywood. This should be a movie.
I would rate it a 4.5. I did like it.
So what takes away that 0.5 star?
So I would rate this story probably like a 4.5 only because of the villain's death.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think Tim should have been able to call his mom and be like, Mom, set up some C4 explosives, and then
blown up the house. I feel like when they let her go from out of the kitchen, he should have been like, Mom, you know where the pack is in the basement, right? And she'd be like, yes, son. And like she's setting up like automatic like guns and all kinds of stuff. And she's like, I got you. And she's like blowing up shit. And like the backyards are all gone. And the neighbors are like, yes. And all the neighbors are like shooting out the windows.
See? That would have been better.
The 82-year-old man is like,
His teeth are just like...
He's got his camera while he's like... I love it. But yeah, so yeah, his death was very lackluster for as big of a character as he was.
Right.
You know, so yeah. I really enjoyed it though.
It was good.
It was a good one. So, what's next?
Next we are doing By the Light of the Moon.
also by Dean Koontz. This one, I haven't really had a chance to delve into it. I think I'm like 8 pages in.
That was our main character, Dylan.
Dylan is our main character, and Jill.
And like Jilly something.
Yeah.
She's weird.
She's a comedian.
She's got a pet jade plant.
So we're
named Fred.
It is Fred. And she takes him with her on the road.
A part that I've
We can't talk about it yet.
Oh, it's so funny though.
But we can't talk about it yet.
No.
But this is next week's book. Also, we'd like to thank you guys for sticking with us to the end. We know that sometimes we can be like long-winded, and so we really appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about it, have your mama watch it. And as always, thanks guys. Bye.
Bye.